Hello and welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot enthusiast, and your local witch next door, and today I'm talking about the Queen of Cups. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. This Friday, June 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, I'm hosting a virtual tarot card creation event. If things are feeling hard right now, maybe you could benefit from an hour dedicated to channeling your feelings into something creative. I'll give you a list of recommended supplies, we'll meet online, and I'll walk you through the magical process of creating your own cards. No tarot experience is necessary, and the sign up for that is in the show notes and on my website. If you love the show, the best way to support it is by listening daily, leaving a review, and subscribing or following in your favorite podcast app. For monthly hangouts, tarot Q&As, individual readings, and behind-the-scenes peeks, you can join the Everyday Tarot Patreon family. If you're local to the greater Puget Sound area, you can check out my Let's Talk Tarot meetup group for the latest event postings. If you're interested in my free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you at the beginning of this year, you can get that by joining my newsletter list. My weekly newsletter always has the most up-to-date information on my upcoming events, presentations, musings, and info and photos of my day-to-day life. If you don't already know, I'm a sex and relationships therapist seeing clients virtually all over Washington State. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients. If you'd like to work with a therapist that doesn't judge you, is a little bit witchy just like you, and helps you learn how to deal with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex, head to my website and book a free consultation now. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull on each episode. All right, we are wrapping up season 9 here, where I'm talking all about the Suit of Cups, going through each card one per episode. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can check those out. In season 1, I talked tarot basics. In seasons 2 and 3, I went through all the major arcana cards and an overview of the 4 suits. Season 4 was all about tarot and pop culture. Season 5 was about 13 common tarot spreads. Seasons 6, 7, and 8 were the Suit of Wands, Pentacles, and Swords. And here we are in season 9, talking all about the Suit of Cups. If you want to hear an overview episode of around the Suit of Cups dedicated just to that, you can check out episode 38. And today we are talking about the Queen of Cups. So if you have a tarot deck accessible, go ahead and shuffle through and find your Queen of Cups card and see what images or symbols you see. Some of the ones I see on some of the cards I'm looking at are steady, wise, calm, in harmony, settled, like infinite. There's a lot of water, since water is the element associated with cups. There's also a lot of like wise grandmother energy is sort of what the vibe I get from these cards. So if we look at some of the cards that I'm looking at right now, so in the Anima Mundi Tarot deck by Megan Lyrewenden, we have, I believe, like a beluga whale or a blue whale. I'll look in the Tarot deck guidebook to verify what it is. Floating through the water, we see bubbles coming out of their mouth. They look very graceful, and again, they give this very like wise grandmother energy. The card is all blue, and then we have a cup sort of floating in the water there, but it's a very serene image. I am going to look in the deck guidebook real quick to see what kind of a whale it is, because they actually name okay, so humpback whale. It says the Queen of Cups is a warm-hearted and emotionally secure figure who is intuitively in tune with the emotions of others. She welcomes all with open arms and provides guidance and emotional support. Be empathetic and supportive of those around you. So the themes are compassion, calm, nurturing, and intuition. I love all of those themes. It's making me think about my lovely tarot card creation event this Friday, because that's really what I hope to convey. being calm, tuning into our intuition, being sort of creative and compassionate with ourselves. The next card I'm looking at is from the Ophidia Rosa Tarot deck by Leela and Olive. And this deck, so this card shows an image of like a left hand with, we see like a collar around their wrist, like a frilly, like they're maybe wearing like a blouse or something. We see they have dark fingernails painted. We see some like plants, either laid over top of their left hand or like as tattoos. We see 5 candles, like above, like one above each finger, and then we see 2 sort of flowering plants on either side of the hand and the candles, looking sort of, let's see if I can, sort of like a clematis flower, although it doesn't look super viney. Yeah, not totally sure what flower, but the only color on the card is the mauve or sort of purple of some of the petals of the flowers, and then I guess we also see some white as like the melting candle wax, and we see these like shining, you know how you draw like the rays from a sun, like the lines that come outward, so we see like the shine coming off of the candles as well. And in this deck, there's like a phrase associated with each card. So I'm going to look at the Queen of Cups here, and it says, dwelling low, we remain with much passion to share. Follow our glow and descend the stair. So it gives a very like mysterious, but also like you're going to go learn, right? Like almost you're going to descend into the basement following the light of the candles, right, to sort of see and learn what's there, making me think of like lots of depictions of like places where people do potions or like different witch, like laboratories are often underground. Root cellars, right, where we like store food historically before we had refrigerators underground. So sort of this like storing of knowledge or yeah, something like that is sort of what I get from this card. And then finally, I'm looking at the Therapist Who Tarot deck, prompts by Drea Bloom and images by Rebecca Bloom. This one, we see a, like a loosely humanoid figure. We just sort of see the outline of them. They're like gold looking. We see that like they have a very large cup in front of them, almost like cauldron or crock pot sized, and it's blue, and we see sort of some stuff in the cup that is yellowish, like it almost looks like soup. That's what I was thinking, crock pot in my head. And then we have again all of the shining like coming from around them, so we get these like rays of gold coming off every single part of the person. And the words associated with this card on this one are calm and harmony. And this deck does not have a tarot deck guidebook, but it does have questions on the back, prompts for us to think about related to each card. And so the prompts are, what question must you answer as soon as possible? What matters most? And what conversation have you been avoiding? And that's again, what question must you answer as soon as possible? What matters most, and what conversation have you been avoiding? So really like we're getting to these like culmination of like important things is kind of again the vibe I get from this card. If we look in the Library of Esoterica, Tarot book by Toshin, a favorite reference of mine, they talk about that the Queen of Cups is associated with imagination, creativity through openness. The Queen of Cups asks us to tap into our emotional depths, to nurture, to act with compassion and empathy. Again, creativity, imagination, openness. Guys, this is what we're doing in my workshop on Friday. Come join on the 20th. And if you're unable to make it live, you can sign up and everyone will be sent a recording. If you live in a different time zone, if you're just unable to make it at that time, I want you to have this sort of tool where you are going to learn sort of my process for making my own tarot cards as this creative activity and craft, but also just as a way to kind of, again, channel our feelings into something creative, utilize our intuition, and sort of there's endless possibilities of how you want to make the cards. So I really encourage you to sign up and join me Friday. Um, or sign up even if you can't join me, and you'll still get the information. You'll get a PDF of sort of my process as I walk you through it. You'll get the recording. You'll get my list of preferred supplies, although, of course, you can use whatever supplies you have because you'll be in your home. Yeah, and I'll talk you through I'll be answering some Q&A questions from anyone that's there live if they have questions about my process. You'll get to see, I don't know, at least 10 of the cards I've created, and just sort of get to see my style and kind of the difference or the different things that kind of were coming to me as I was making them. So, yeah, just feeling really called to keep talking about that event. All right, so let's look in the Tarot and Astrology book by Corinne Kenner about the Queen of Cups. So it says the Queen of Cups is associated with Cancer. It embodies the pure blend of water and emotional depth of the Cups cards, giving her, in essence, a double dose of water qualities, which again is why we get that, right? We have like the humpback whale in the Anima Mundi card. We have the cups, the sort of overflowing, this like wise energy, right? Because emotional depth is, I feel like, a lot of what we learn or what we speak about when we say people are wise. It's not just that they have memorized a lot of facts or that they've learned a lot of, again, like book knowledge necessarily over your lifetime. It's more this like, how does love and relationships work, right? How you deal or handle emotions, how do you process them, how do you process grief. It says the Queen of Cups is usually pictured in a watery world of love and relationships because she embodies the emotional energy of the Suit of Cups. The Queen of Cups also represents the cardinal water sign of Cancer, which makes her a natural homemaker and caretaker. She's nurturing, sensitive, loving, and caring. Her maternal gifts also make her more powerful than many people realize. Cardinal signs are decisive leaders. She knows better than most that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Like her major arcana counterpart, the charioteer, she navigates through a realm of dangerous currents and tides. Again, think of that ocean, water energy. And she usually manages to steer clear of rocky reefs and shorelines. She effortlessly balances marriage and family life. The Queen of Cups is creative and artistic. She can even be remarkably intuitive. At times, she's prone to psychic prophecies and mystical visions inspired by her ruling planet, the moon. Like the moon, she does have a dark side. Those who are caught in her wake can sometimes find themselves drowning in the eddies of her emotions. At times, she can be overprotective and even smothering. The Queen of Cups rules the third decan of Gemini and the first and second decans of Cancer. In a natural horoscope, her primary domain is the fourth house of home and family life. All right, and it says the name given to this card is the maternal devotion of Cardinal Water. Let's see. In the Fearless Tarot book by Elliot Adam, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, they talk about the Queen of Cups as valuing feelings and emotions. The Queen of Cups views feelings as sacred because they reveal life to us in vibrant colors. She's nurturing, caring, and encourages her people to see the value of their own feelings and emotions. The Queen of Cups sees sensitivity as something that makes one strong, not weak. Feelings allow us to experience joy, excitement, love, bliss, and rapture. The Queen of Cups reminds us to be grateful for our feelings, even when they cause us pain. After all, feelings give life complexity, color, and dimension. Are you uncomfortable with your feelings? Are you afraid to be open because someone or something might potentially hurt you? Do you bottle up your feelings and deny that they are there? Cups and water in the tarot symbolize feelings and emotions. The Queen of Cups places her feelings in the most precious chalice of the entire tarot. Her cup is gilded in gold and adorned with angels. Just looking at her cup's beauty brings the Queen joy. This symbolizes that she honors feelings as something sacred. The Queen of Cups sees the worth and value of feelings because they give life color and complexity. To prove this point, she's surrounded by colorful beach stones. It says if you've ever collected stones on the beach, you'll remember that when they are dry, they are often rather dull. However, if you place the stones in the water, suddenly the stones become alive with vibrant colors and textures. The vibrancies of the stones are revealed through water. Likewise, a dull or boring life can reveal its complexity if you find yourself to feeling it instead of being detached from it. All right, and then finally, let's look in the Tarot for Change book by Jessica Dorr, Using the Cards for Self-Care, Acceptance, and Growth. So she speaks about the Queen of Cups as sitting on the edge of the sea. Again, if you see the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith depiction of the card, there's sort of a woman seated on a throne. She has this giant, like, goblet chalice. It usually has a lid on it, which is interesting, and that she's holding, and she's like truly like her feet are like in the ocean, like she's like sitting on the beach, almost like ready for the sea to take her. She's not immersed in the water, but she's in intimate relationship with it still. She holds a large chalice, perhaps symbolizing the emotional matter of others, which she holds lightly in her hands but with deep care. The chalice sits at a safe and appropriate distance from her body, her heart, perhaps symbolizing her own emotional field. She has a strong sense of which emotions are her work to sort through and which are for others. And she understands how to act in alignment with that knowledge. She is an image of what's called exquisite empathy in the healthcare profession. Richard Loris Harrison defined as highly present, sensitively attuned, well-boundaried, heartfelt, empathetic engagement. All right. So yeah, when we think about that, again, highly present, sensitively attuned, well-boundaried, heartfelt, empathetic engagement, right? It's not that you are disengaged, right? You're present, you are attuned to other people's emotions and your own, you're aware of what's going on in the situation, you're empathetic towards others and yourself, and there is this sort of like, if we think of bodies of water or the ocean as sort of this analogy for emotions, right? You're sitting in your throne on the beach and you're allowing the ocean, the feelings to come as they do, right? And they might come in really large when the tide comes in, and they might be crashing over you. And sometimes they're going to be barely, maybe rolling over your toes with water, or maybe not even, right? Maybe the surf comes in every minute or so and it gently, like, again, caresses your toes, right? If we think about that image, right, it's kind of allowing the emotions to come up when they're there, and right, but also sort of staying grounded, right? You're sitting in your throne, which again, if you were literally sitting on a throne on the beach, you'd probably be able to sit there for a while. Maybe not if there was a hurricane or something or a tsunami, but for a pretty long time, right, without probably getting washed back out. But also, right, she has that chalice, which is sort of like they said, the analogy of like this is like a containment of other people's emotions. So you can see your own, right? You see the waves coming in, you see other people's emotions in that chalice, right? You're holding the cup where we're holding the containment of water. Again, like this is a very therapist image of like you have your own emotions, and also when you're in a session with clients, you're holding that chalice with them, of their emotions, right? Perhaps you're both looking into it and exploring what's in there, seeing what comes up. And then you usually get to, hand that chalice back to them at the end of session. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of giving that image right now. So let's dive in and see what the cards have to say today on this topic. I am pulling from the Citadel, a Fantasy Oracle by Fen Inkrate. Still, I'm still sort of obsessed with this deck and getting to know it. It is not necessarily a tarot deck, although it does sort of have suits. And the image is, again, the Citadel, or sort of this large city contained within walls where there's all sorts of people. And so most of the cards we pull are archetypes or types of people that are in the city. Okay, let's see what we have today. Oh, the scholar, investigation and research. All right, and it is upright, so I will read the upright definition today. I have to check, but I feel like I pulled this one recently, but maybe it was in reverse. Singular, no. We want the skull. Almost there. All right. So the scholar is part of, I'm going to look at sort of like the suit equivalent to this card, and it is part of the academy. So again, the idea is like you have all these people in a city, so you have the court, and then surrounding the court are a ring of libraries, temples, schools, and businesses that are collectively known as the academy. The buildings here are practical constructions separated by spacious roads and flourishing shops. Carefully pruned courtyards proudly display statues of some of the city's most noble figures. The people who live and work here flourish in acts of learning and ingenuity, striving to discover the unknown and create new wonders that will amaze the world. Right, this is sort of a studious or some level of study that these people are taking on. So the scholar is about, says, sunlight streams through a window, illuminating a chaotic, crowded desk. Piles of books cast deep shadows, and dust motes float lazily through the air. The scholar is something of a hermit, preferring their scrolls and studies to the bustle of the outside world. Let's see. But there is one thing they're known for, their ability to work through any puzzle and come to the right conclusion. The scholar is a card of routine and perseverance. Right now, you may find yourself at a dead end with no immediately apparent solution. Take a step back and try approaching the problem from a different angle and asking someone for their opinion. A fresh pair of eyes can do wonders. So it sounds like, right, maybe there's something in your life right now that you feel stuck on, that you're wanting a solution, but right now nothing's coming up, right? This is about routine and perseverance, right? And it kind of sounds like we're evaluating, we're maybe having other people help us, we're approaching the problem from a different angle, which again, maybe in the tarot would be kind of like the hanged man, right? We're trying to look at a new perspective, maybe asking someone else for their opinion, getting a fresh pair of eyes on whatever we're looking at. Because again, if you spend your time, right, if you think of a scholar, you spend your time poring over books, you can get really drawn into that and sometimes like forget about the outside world, forget about that you still need to eat and move your body, right? There's something of a hermit, preferring the sort of structure or the answers that are provided in books, right, or studying. And maybe right now we're being called to, right, again, channel more into our intuition, right, embody the Queen of Cups cards, looking at other people's emotions, looking at our own, allowing them to come up. And maybe right now something's feeling hard, like it's not the right time to do it. Maybe that's where the step back is coming in. All right, so links for the tarot decks I talk about will be in the show notes and on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. And you can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com with your thoughts, questions, and more. I'd love to hear from you. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.